one, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
She's been missing since February, and there are no articles. You guys want to hear something messed up? Summer Wills has been missing for quite some time, since February. She's a 13-year-old girl from Portland, Oregon, and literally there is nothing on her. I can't even find a stinking article. A friend of mine sent me this photo about this missing child out of Portland, Oregon, and when I went to do just the minimal research, there was nothing. I have to be honest, I was shocked. Literally not one article on this missing 13-year-old girl out of Portland, Oregon. So I am advocating right now for this beautiful 13-year-old girl out of Portland, Oregon that's been missing since February. I have no details on her case. I have no idea where specifically she disappeared, what happened to her. Even on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children have no details related to her case. That breaks my heart.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
Hey guys, I have been covering the Riley Strain case all day today, trying to give you guys up-to-date information. Since it's taking a little time for my lives to download, I decided just to put together a video so you guys can get to see this. This is his path of travel, but right up in here is where we're learning that he had some contact with law enforcement officers, probably right around here.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
And that was at 9:50, and then we see him on the camera also around this area at 9:52, and that's the last time we saw him. And of course, as you see here, the last time his cell phone pinged right in the same area was even 6 minutes later. What happened to Riley Strain, we don't know, but something happened right in and around this area here. So it's very concerning that law enforcement still has not found him. Check out this latest clip from law enforcement. If you absolutely love the content you're getting here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube and X. We have been building up our platform on X. I just want to thank all of the beautiful people that have been joining us every morning as we dive into these cases and look into them as we build up our monetization on that platform. So thank you for everybody that's been coming here from X. I just want to tell you, you're really appreciated, and we're glad to have you part of the Coffee Club family here early in the morning, typically earlier than this, but I've been doing a lot of research, especially, it's kind of weird. I wasn't really covering the Riley Strain case, and I was over on Justin for All. I was here, I was working on something unrelated to the true crime, and he was talking about this case, and while he was talking about it, I started perking my ears up, and then I started, people were sending him information. So, but he didn't have the actual clips that they were referring to. So I was doing a bunch of research behind the scene and trying to get the stuff off to him. And it kind of hooked me into this case because this case has so many twists and turns to it that it's just perplexing. It's bizarre because this is a case where typically in many cases that we deal with, we have lack of information, right? We don't know where the person was. We don't know who the last person they were with. We don't see them. We know nothing. This case is one of those cases where we almost have everything. We almost have an exact timeline for this man. We literally have within minutes of where he disappeared and a half-block radius of where he disappeared. We have so much information on this case, and this man isn't found yet. Law enforcement is saying that they believe no foul play is involved. They're searching the water. Everybody believes this man entered the water somehow. And we're just saying, hey, something ain't right here. We've been around the block a time or two. It usually doesn't take 10 days for somebody that has injured themselves, that has hurt themselves, that has unalived themselves. Any of these aspects, if they're there, land or water, they're going to be there. So how in the world can this man, literally this 6'7" man, just poof, disappear in thin air? I was reading on Reddit this morning, and I went over it on my live on TikTok early this morning. If you guys don't know, we have a TikTok channel. Our TikTok channel has been before our YouTube channel. Not before our X channel, though. Our X channel has been around for a significant amount of time. But, you know, our TikTok, I've been a TikTok family member for long before I was a YouTube family member. And so I put a lot of stuff out there on TikTok. It's easier. It's just quicker. And it gets me out, you know, the information out. And I've been taking some of those things, downloading them and putting them over here on YouTube. So I'm not leaving YouTube out, because I know people here on YouTube don't like TikTok, and people on TikTok don't like YouTube. I don't know. It's like the Hatfield and McCoys, right? It's like the Hatfield and McCoys. So I'm trying to keep you guys all up to date. But if you do have TikTok and you like it, don't forget to go and sub me up on TikTok, because all day long I'm putting information out on my TikTok channel. And this is some breaking information. For example, whenever we found out law enforcement had a videotape, we had that information out within, I think, 4 or 5 minutes of that information being released. We had a video out letting people know about the body cam footage. And that's the power of TikTok. I know a lot of people don't like it, but there you have it. There's the reason. So if you want information about this case, about the Riley Strain case, the most up-to-date information immediately, you're going to want to go over and sub up to the TikTok channel. And that's also Bullhorn Betty. Mama Llama, it's great to see you. The real me too. Good morning, my love. Jules is up in the house bright and early, followed by our beautiful It's Me, Jen. It's nice to see you all here this morning. Who else do we have up in the house? Sorry, my thing's getting sticky. Elle Holloway, it's nice to see you, my love. And of course, it's me, Jen. It's nice to see you, my love, my love, my love. That's what we haven't been using our unicorn emoji. We need to get back to our unicorn emoji. I don't know. I have, did I tell you I have a shirt? I got a shirt that says, what was it? Free the chubby unicorns. And it's the rhinoceros. It's cute. It's cute. Angela, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Our beautiful Sonia, it's nice to see you this beautiful morning. Honey Dip is up in the house. Nurse Sandy, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well. Just Deb, it's nice to see you as well. I know she got the G in and hit enter. I hate those fat finger problems, don't you? Angie's reminding us, do not forget to go out and but like this video before we get started. And we're going to get started with all the latest and greatest on this. Dustin, it's nice to see you. November Rain, Manic Mama T. That was Mama Llama. I thought it was Manic Mama. I'm sure Manic Mama's in here somewhere. It's nice to see you, Manic. Pittsburgh Nurse, it's nice to see you, my love. Good morning. Courtney, it's nice to have you here. Dustin, I think I said hi to you, but if I didn't, I wanted to say hi to you again. We don't see you very often in here anymore. So it's nice to see you. Mary, it's good to see you as well. Gigi for life. Love to see you as always. MJ's up in the house. Our beautiful Southern Grammy. Oh my goodness, love. How are you doing? I'm hoping and praying you are out of the hospital. If many don't know, Southern Grammy, she is a beautiful lady. She had just opened an amazing business. She was just getting plugged into her local children needs of her community, and had just incorporated herself with a great organization, and then was driving and boom, right? Somebody smacked into her and jammed her up, and she had been in the hospital for a significant amount of time. So I'm hoping that she's doing better. We have a fundraising on our Facebook page. If anybody would like to go over there and help Southern Grammy Wolf out, please consider doing so. She's been laid up in the hospital for well over a month. I can tell you that. Even if she's out today, she was there for a significant amount of time. Princess, it's nice to see you. Alabama mom of 4. It's lovely to see you as well, my love. Truth Warrior, good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well. Kayla, Rebecca, good morning. And everybody else, if I missed you, PB&J, it's nice to see you. If I missed you in any way, please don't forget, I do love you. Welcome and good morning, right? And good morning. So there was a few things that broke yesterday that were major in the Riley Strain case. In my opinion, I mean, do they have a real significant evidentiary value? One of them potentially, right? But the other one, not so much. So the first one that broke was the fact that he came in contact with law enforcement, and we didn't even have the video at the time. We just he came into law enforcement. It was just breaking. So I get on my live on TikTok and start talking to people and explaining that we have this, and I'm going into, did the officer, follow the right protocols? I mean, good heavens, we saw this kid walking. He's falling all over the place. And if this guy came into contact with him, why didn't he try to assist him in any way? Well, we saw the video. It was a 2-second interaction. Hey, how you doing? Good. How you? Yeah, that was it. And everybody's like, well, he really wasn't that intoxicated. It was a 2-second clip. Thank goodness you're not the investigator. Calm down. Trust me, he still looked intoxicated to me. And his voice still seemed intoxicated to me. When I saw it, when I looked at it, I looked at the whole, interaction. I went back, I rewound it, I put it together a video. So I had to see it. I had to slow it down, everything like that. He's forward walking when forward walking is when you're not balanced, you kind of lean forward a little bit as you walk. So you're not losing your balance. He was forward walking. So he had all the indicators that he was intoxicated, even at the time that he saw law enforcement in that split second that was captured on the footage. But here's the kicker. Somebody was out there breaking into the cars to bring that law enforcement officer out there. So it always makes me wonder, did he run into this guy that was breaking into the cars, clearly trying to steal money and other valuable items, probably for a drug habit or some other kind of substance abuse, right? So that was the first thing that broke. And then we finally learned that he had a last text message. Many people were asking, who was the last people he was in contact with? Well, we knew he was with his fraternity brothers before he got kicked out of Luke's 32, Luke Bryan's 32, or Luke's 32, I think is what it's called. And he went on this walk in the wrong direction. His hotel was only 3 blocks away from where they were. And with it only being 3 blocks away from where they were, I can imagine that, is it Nick Bears? He's a news reporter in the area that's been covering this case extensively. And he gave an analogy. I think it's Nick Bears. Yeah. And he gave an analogy of, being a university student, and it rang true because we've all done it, where you drink at your hotel room before you even go out because you want to have a good time, but you're trying to pay $15 and $20 per drink. You're only going to drink, a few drinks while you're there. I know I did that when I was 20 something. I drank a whole bottle of champagne before I went out to the club. I'm sorry. That's just what I did. I didn't even pour it in a champagne glass. I just drank it straight out of the bottle. So, I was a wild child. So it was like that rang true to me whenever I heard that. But during this time, apparently Riley started dating a new girl at his school. So this new girl decided to reach out to Riley and say, are you guys having fun? How's everything going? And then boom, he writes this weird thing like great lops, LOPS, some type of slang talking about, and I had to look it up myself, like what's lops, or did he mean to type something else? And it, we all done it, right? And you can't be here on the Bullhorn Betty channel and not misspell something, right? So we've all done that. Wasn't it just an innocent mistake because he was drunk and he didn't realize he wrote LOPS and he was wanting to type, great night or, something like that. And it came out to lops. But then when we look at the slang of lops on Google, it says something about crippled, disabled person or something like that. It was really weird. And I'm like, he had to have misspelled, but maybe he was making a funny comment. Hey, I am Team Summer. It's nice to see you, love bug. And B Betty fan, I know it's got to be somewhere in the house. If I didn't say hi to her, I want to make sure she gets a shout out. So it was just a weird text message. So those are the things that we have. Before we get started here, where is it? I wanted to give you guys an update on the new path of travel that we have for, why isn't this? Let me see if I can do it like this. Would this be easier? Yeah, there we go. Path of travel for him. And I wanted to go over this path of travel with you guys before we dive into any information, because we need to enlighten people on what we know so far. So what we know so far, let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger for you guys. I can. So as you see here at the bottom, his hotel was literally, sorry, once I blow it up, it gets a little blurry. His hotel was 3 blocks in this direction over here, okay? If he went this way, he would have been to his hotel, but he didn't. He got turned around, and instead of making, when he went out the door, instead of making a right, I guess that would be a left. Is that a right? It looks like a right there. Instead of making a right or a left, I would say a left. I got it backwards here. He ended up going across the street and making the right and going down the road. I don't know why he got this confused, but he clearly did. And so as we get up here, we start seeing where he's on the very first cameras, right? So he sits and trips. This is where he trips, where we saw him fall on the pavement. And we'll go back and pull those videos up. Actually, let me go ahead and pull those videos up right now. Riley Strain video. Falling. Okay, there's the officer. Let me see if I can find some videos of him falling. I just need the other videos. I had them up yesterday. Okay, here's one. This is of him falling. Video. Hold on. It's starting to get cluttered with all the new information. It's making it harder to find the original videos of him that night. Here we go. I found them. I think I found them. There they are. At least some of them. So we'll. Oh, no, this is about the, okay, yeah, we got some of the walking stuff. So here we got some videos on it. So I'll show you guys those videos in just a second. So getting back to this map, you got him falling right here. And then he's like walking across the, another video and near a wall, kind of holding his head. It looked pretty concerning, but he kept walking. And then we see him come over here, and this is where we see him kind of cross. And it's my understanding that once he crossed here, let me just pull this down. Yeah, there it is. He got around this corner. This is the stretch that has me concerned. This stretch here, from my understanding, is kind of a hotbed of, substance abuse activity at night. Okay, right around this area. So he's going into a direction that's bad. This here, right here, is where he has his interaction with law enforcement, which is right before he disappears. We see him on camera. We see him on camera the last time somewhere here. And this is where his credit card was missing. And of course, this is where his last phone ping was. This was the last Life 360 ping. So we have the Life 360 ping, his credit card, and his phone going off for forever right here. So everything that we're seeing happening is happening to this man right in and around this area. We have a 6-minute window and a half-block radius. Okay, a 6-minute window and a half-block radius. This kid should be found. This kid should be found. He should be found in whatever condition he's in. Unfortunately, I'm going to say this, just like I said on the show on TikTok. I bring up Charlotte Senna. I think the amount of time this boy has been gone, this is just my personal belief, and I'm just letting you guys know. Hey, TD, nice to see you, love. Big Mac Mike, it's nice to see you as well. Phoenix, good morning. Is I also thought Charlotte Senna was a goner, right? Remember that? Statistically, that child should have never survived that, statistically. But she did. She did. So even though law enforcement was looking really grim, we were looking at a grave situation. I was looking at a grave situation. Many of you were looking at the statistics, looking at a grave situation. We thought she was gone. We thought we were going to have the worst news in the world to tell the world about a 9-year-old little girl. And we really didn't want to have to do that. I got to tell you, I wasn't looking forward to those conversations. Good morning, Cricket. But no matter how much we thought we knew, she was alive. She defied those odds. You know, there's a possibility that could ring true here in Riley's case. He could defy odds. We don't know where he's at or what is going on with him. I'm basing my information strictly on statistics and my gut instinct. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it so. Just because I think it doesn't make it true. Okay, period. It just doesn't. But I still think it. And my thoughts are one of two things have happened. Either he did truly have a major accident and was introduced to the water, and he's somewhere in that water hung up on something. Or he met with foul play. I don't see really any other option available. Because if he had a medical issue, he would be on top of the ground or in the water. If he had an accidental issue, he's going to be on top of the ground or in the water. They have done massive land searches. They have done massive water searches. They have put sonar in the water. We're at 11 or 12 days today. This boy is gone. And we're listening to law enforcement saying that there's no foul play. And there may very well not be. But if not, where is this boy? And how can law enforcement determine that there's no foul play here in an area that's riddled with crime and a boy that's missing? We watched it yesterday. I'm not going to play it again because we got so much stuff to cover here on this show today. However, when you look at the video with the homeless individual, the video where they're focused on this man's shoes. Okay, that's the best way to describe this video. He's telling his story, but he's focused on his shoes. There's a few things that come to the top. He's already reached out to law enforcement and he told law enforcement everything he knows and saw. So if anybody has any questions, has he gone to law enforcement? The answer is yes. He stated that he heard a commotion, but he stated a few things. But the one thing that's concerning for me is he stated he was walking along and there was a commotion. And when he turned around to see what the commotion was, he realized that Riley had fallen into the bushes. And there was somebody there saying he was drunk, he's okay. So that means there was somebody around and next to Riley at a time after law enforcement. That's where I have a concern. Who was that person? Because let's face it, Riley disappeared shortly after that contact. So who was that person? Now, I'm not saying that there is foul play. I do trust law enforcement's judgment. And this is a high-profile case. So there's got to be something in my mind that's leading law enforcement to believe that this child, and I'm going to call him a child because he was a young kid that was still going to school and under mommy and daddy's care. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the definition of a child. Okay, this kid, or, this boy, whatever you want to call it, this kid, had contact with somebody and then shortly after that disappeared. If he's in the water, again, he may be hooked up on something, but I go through the biology. Most people here understand the biology. We talk about it often. When you're introduced to water and you expire in the water, you sink, okay? I'm not going to say you sink to the bottom of that, but because that varies depending on how much salt is in the water. I'm not going to go through salinization and all this other stuff to explain, but the more salt that's in the water, the more buoyant your body is, period. So you've got your body is introduced into the water, you expire in the water, you sink lower in the water, and then as your body is breaking down, it fills with gases which make your body come to the surface of the water and float. And most of the time when you do have that floating process, you will notice that the person floating is very bloated because they have all those gases in them that are lifting them up. So you have that going on. So if he's in the water at this point, 12 days, almost 2 weeks, they're trying to say that basically his body has not broken down enough to bring him to the top of the surface. I don't know. And how far could he have really floated in this water if he was introduced into this water by accident? How long would it take him to get from point A to point B? Because when I talked to Chronicles of Olivia, she told me that there is a flow in this river. There's a normal flow, but it's not a huge current. It's not a major rapid current, she said. So, it's not pushing this body so far out of the way. Now we're talking about 12 days now, 11 days, 10 days, whatever the days are. I lost count. He disappeared on the 8th, the evening of the 8th. So we're rounding out right now. By this evening would be the 11th day. So what say you? Where could this man be? What are your thoughts? You know what? I don't know if I've got everything. Do I have the information? We know he was around this area and he disappeared. Where could he be? Do you think he's in the water, or do you think he met with foul play? If you think he's in the water, if you have any education or anything, I'm not gonna, if you do, let us know. If you have some marine background, if you tracked currents before, if maybe you can give us an idea on how to track him, how to follow the currents to see where he may be. We did hear, now this is only rumor, and why I never really brought it. I talked about it on TikTok, but I never really brought it up here, at least I don't think. But there is one other minor issue that's going on that I don't know how to corroborate and don't know if it's true. And some people are saying that he had an Apple Watch on that evening. And they're also saying that Apple Watch pinged at oh shoot, I left my book in there in the other room. Golf something towers, two golf towers, two golf towers, something tower. It's in Germantown. And they said that there's a 2-mile radius from that tower where he could be. But they did say that there was a ping. Again, it's rumor. I can't tell you that I've corroborated. I haven't. I don't know if it's true. But if people are out there searching, if they want to go search that area to see if it holds water, please do, because I have been hearing it's the two towers or whatever. I don't know what they called it. It's on my pad in there. I'll check it out in just a second if I have to get up and go anywhere or anything during this live. And there's one little interview that I wanted you guys to hear. It's from News Nation, and this is related to the text messages. But I really felt like whenever I was watching it that it's a lot of the same information we already know. So I didn't really want to go over that too awfully much. There are a couple things I want to say, and I really think it's a win-win for the cyber sleuths, the cyber sleuth family. Riley Lively, she's a TikToker. She was featured in Cyber Sleuths right along with myself, Livia, and a few other creators. And she was on her TikTok when with the other TikTokers live at the time as they were searching when they found the card, the credit card, the bank card. So she was there, and then listen to this. This is what I also found out that happened yesterday. And I am just absolutely so proud of her, but absolutely floored. So Sebastian Rogers' parents I did not, they seemed like they were a little bit reluctant to media. It started seeming that they went on somebody else's YouTube channel, and it was kind of, from my understanding, I don't know who they interviewed with, but I heard it was not really the best channel in the world. And so it was, it's always a concern when you start having these parents, are they going to go to the crap channels that enable them, or are they going to go to legitimate channels? And so I always watch, you guys know that, I always monitor the behaviors of the parents. I did not think they were going to give another interview because of how, they've been treated. I mean, they're, in all fairness, and I think, believe it or not, Chris Proudfoot is being reasonable. I think he understands. It seems like he understands how people think. He's still answering people's question. He's keeping a calm, cool demeanor about him, despite what we think. And he's keeping lines of communication open, not just with other content creators, but the public in general. And quite frankly, I have no qualms with that. That to me seems reasonable. These are behaviors that I saw in, say, Brandy Neal, when people were accusing that woman of doing, horrible things to her son. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm really uncomfortable with him just walking out of the house. But again, none of us were there. I did go back and look at Chris Proudfoot's previous post. I mean, he seemed like a nice guy. We talked about that on here. But Chronicles of Olivia got to interview both Chris and Katie. And, I love Chronicles of Olivia. She's just a sweet person. She has a way of calming people down. She's just, she's always doing things to try to help others and try to bring awareness and try to use her big, beautiful platform to help. And it clarified some things, that we do have this video that was corroborated by Nick Bears that show what we believe are two flashlights in the backyard, or at least some weird movement. The problem is with that video is, in all fairness, you can't tell what's back there. You can't tell what you're seeing. You're only assuming that those lights are flashlights. You're only assuming that that flashlight is moving. What if it's a light under a bush and every time it moves, it shows a light and it reflects off of a leaf or something like that? Or there's a metal piece up at the house that every time this leaf or this tree moves, it has a little flash of some sort, or just the opposite. Maybe it's a light or a illumination at the yard of the house that's illuminating on, some trees or something like we can't really, in all fairness, we can't really see what we're looking at. We don't know what we're looking at. If somebody didn't put a square around it and say, this is flashlights in the backyard, you guys would probably watch it and look at it and say, what am I looking at here? You see what I'm saying? But because somebody put in your mind that that has to be a flashlight, we all assume that those are two flashlights in the backyard. We don't know. Chris Proudfoot has some problems going on, in New Mexico. We know most of us, let's face it, are divorced. Some of the people in my chat have went through really nasty and ugly divorces over child custody and things like that, where it just got really dirty. The mommy and daddy were dragging each other through the mud. We've all heard of it. Are we really going to base our opinion on this man by a divorce he's going through or some kind of custody battle he's going through? I'm not sure if I'm willing to judge a man on just one element when I go back through his entire Facebook profile and I see somebody that seems pretty normal. This doesn't seem like the behaviors this man would exhibit or show. There are some things that give us a little more credence to why we're looking at the parents, such as, his biological father was about to get custody of him. Because we don't know these people, we don't know their personal stuff, we automatically assume that might have been an issue, which in some cases it could be, depending on whose family and, the finances and whatnot. But we don't know if that's a factor in this case or not. We assume it is, but is it? So I just was really, really proud that Olivia got to interview him. It did give me, her interview did give me a new perspective. But there were some things that I did notice going back, and again, I'm not saying these parents did anything or not. I'm just saying, just like many of our other cases, the facts surrounding this are highly suspicious. We don't know what we're seeing in that backyard, but we know there had to have been something going on. I mean, a kid is gone, so there were some phenomenons that happened for this kid to be gone. And one of those phenomenons could be this kid. We know children in school are bullies and can be bullies. We see kids in school that were bullies in school, bullies through their adolescence, become an adult bullies, right? I don't know what I'm seeing here, to be honest with you, because naturally we'd be looking at the parents. The parents are the last people that had contact with them. We're listening to their stories that the stepfather wasn't even anywhere around, which kind of puts everything squarely on mom. And if the stepfather wasn't around, how can he really vouch for the mom? In all fairness, right? I mean, we have to look at this realistically. We don't know these people; they don't know us. We're very skeptical. When there's a missing child, we're very skeptical of anyone and everything, and especially everything that they say. We're skeptical. Like we don't believe you, and that's not just them. We have a standard across the board, right? When it comes to like Riley Strain's case, we're skeptical. We're saying, wait a minute, you ain't finding him, and he should be right freaking there. We're only 6 minutes in a timeline where he disappeared, only a half block radius. Like he needs to be right stinking there. And if he's not there, we're skeptical. We're skeptical. So we're skeptical when it comes to this family because, let's face it, it doesn't make sense. It has a lot of twists and turns, and many of these cases that make national news usually do. We have a sixth sense and a nose that sniffs out these weird cases and propels them to the top somehow. Thank you, Angie. God bless you. God bless you. It's unsettling to see so many strange and upsetting cases unfolding. Yes, it is. It feels like we're living in times where the unexpected has become the norm. It has. I mean, for the last decade, we have promoted barbaric behavior from our public. Over the last decade, we have encouraged barbaric behavior from our public. We've encouraged it by allowing people to run wild. We have allowed it by keeping an open border. We have allowed all of this stuff to infiltrate us because we decided to be a PC culture and have bleeding hearts for everybody. We've allowed people to literally run through our cities and burn communities to the ground and didn't even give them even a citation that cost us millions of dollars to replace, by the way. We have encouraged barbaric behavior in our country. So when people say these things about how hard it is to watch, yes. But we brought it on ourselves. And now we got to fix the problem. We brought this all on ourselves, and now it's time for us to fix the problem. We're in an election season, guys. 90% of our problems can be fixed by a simple vote. Just saying. Just saying. Vote your conscience. So now we're going to go right back to Riley Strain's case now that I kind of went on a tangent over Chronicles of Olivia, which was my plug for my BFF. Chronicles of Olivia has that interview, and I want you all to go over to her interview, and I want you guys to watch it. In a couple days, we will, break the interview down ourselves, but I don't want to do that when she just produced it and just got it out there. She worked very hard on it, and again, this is from a family that I did not think we were going to see speaking, especially on social media platform after everything they went through, I was kind of appalled. I've got to say, when I started working with JLR many years ago, he was very cautious. He was very cautious about pointing fingers. He was very cautious about, doing things. And I was a little taken back from his comments to Rao, the father of Sebastian Rogers. I really did not take that very well. I thought that was totally and highly inappropriate and just mean. If you really want to know the truth about it, just mean. And I hope that maybe instead of just assuming, maybe he can we know he's doing the border stuff and maybe a little distracted, but hopefully he can get some more research done on this case and bring stuff to us if he's going to stand so highly on his hill that this stepfather is this horrible person. Now, with that being said, I will tell you, and I'm not going to lie, that I felt additional details were added in the interview Chronicles of Olivia did. And that is a problem for me. And so, and I can't look past it. I really can't. And this is what I can't really look past. Out of all the stuff I've been saying up to this point, rah, rah, rah for Chris and Katie, here's kind of the truth behind it. When Katie and Chris first came out, and we can review the interview again if need be, they said when she was in the home, this is what was said. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, tell me if I'm right or wrong. And remember, the phones are open. So the phones are open. So you guys can call in anytime you guys want to. If I got something wrong, if you want me to correct something, or if new information's available, right? If new information's available. The great news is that we have a phone open. Hopefully it does work. I don't, your browser might prevent calls from easy. Change your browser settings. Okay. So how do I change my browser settings? Go to settings, click call, device web. Okay, off do not disturb. I don't think my do not disturb is off. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I got all of these things. Let's just refresh and see if it fixes the problem. Does not fix the problem. Do not disturb is off. Do not disturb is on. Do not disturb is off. I think it's on. I don't know. Let me see if anybody's called this morning. Nobody has called this morning. So hopefully it works, but just to let you know, the phone lines are open. If you do try to call and it doesn't ring, let me know. The number is 724-249-6140. So here is what the mom said in one of the original interviews, and we'll go back and confirm that is what I heard. She said that when she got up that morning, she went into his room. She didn't find him, and she immediately called Chris. And Chris says, yes, she called me, and I was on the phone with her. In Olivia's interview, Katie says she looked around the house, couldn't find him, got in her car, drove around the block, drove to the school. Chris is over there coughing in the back, distracting her. And then all of a sudden she says, oh, yeah. And then I call him on the phone. We're on three-way, and he calls law enforcement. And I'm just like, I called Olivia. This was in the first few minutes of the video. And I said, Olivia, I said, you did a great job on your interview. I've just been in this few minutes. I said, but I think Katie might have lied. And she's like, huh? I said, I think Katie, I said, I just saw your video. I said, one thing, I said, congratulations. Honestly, I didn't think that they would be meeting with anybody to give any type of interviews. I'm glad you got a chance. And again, like I said, of all people to get an interview with that family, Olivia was the one to do it, because they're probably, you see them, they're missing a child, and whether we think they did it, we don't know. And I'm not, it's sad. I haven't I haven't found any information that's leading me to believe outside of statistics. Statistics are telling me to look at the parents. That's what's telling me to look at the parents. Statistics. And now, this new addition to the timeline, it always has me concerned when somebody is so adamant and does 2 interviews with the same type of information. And then now all of a sudden we have her in her car driving around the neighborhood and driving to the store. So always has me concerned. Let me get you. Oh, this is Betty.
Hey, sweet Betty in the coffee club. It's Southern Grammy.
Oh my gosh, Southern, how are you doing, my love? This is the first time I've literally talked to you since your wreck.
Yeah, I felt like it'd be easier to kind of let everyone know what's going on if I called in. But I wanted to wait till it was easier for me to talk about it. So
Yeah.
I have been moved to rehab. I've been here almost a week, and we're rehabbing my right arm because my wrist and elbow were fractured and had to have plates and screws.
Oh,
And
goodness.
my left tibia plateau in my knee was broken, so I've got plates and screws there. So I've stood once and been able to move into a chair. And mostly I've been in the bed, non-weight bearing, but I'm ready to start being able to get up and move around a little more.
When did your accident happen? Because you've been in the hospital or in inpatient for a significant amount of time now.
Sunday was 7 weeks, so
Jeez. Wow.
yeah, it's been a lot in between all the ambulance transports and CT scans and hospital stays and everything. It's a lot, but I do appreciate all the love and support. And Sonia has checked on me regular so that she knew what was going on.
She's amazing.
Um,
I'm so thankful for my mods because I'm so busy. It's like I feel so bad. Like my mom's my best friend. Everybody's yelling at me. I never have time for them anymore. I'm always working. I feel so bad,
yeah,
And thank God, for my mods because at least they keep in contact with my people.
yeah, I understand. I used to be that way, but I had Sonia make the window decal for my business,
Yeah.
and it arrived after I was already in the hospital. But I did have to give my studio up
Aw.
because obviously I wasn't going to be able to pay for it, and I didn't want that burden to fall on my family just for it to sit there and wait.
Right, right.
Um,
Well, that's
so
really unfortunate, but we'll figure out once you get up on your feet. We'll figure out some. I mean, we're going to do what we can for to help you now, but once you get out and you need to get yourself set back up, we'll try to see what we can do about getting you into a new place.
well, I appreciate that. Right now, I'm getting ready to fight my insurance company, but that's a whole nother story.
Hmm.
Just because they didn't fully investigate, neither did the sheriff's department, the accident, and so they dumped it on me. Um, and just when you speed in an area where there's a blind hill
Yeah.
and there's signs telling you that there's a blind street and the speed limit drops, well, it's kind of your fault, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But but I'm doing better. It's like every day there's something else I can do because I keep pushing. And I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I hopefully will get some better news. And I'm pushing to go home as soon as I can. So
Well, we're definitely praying for you and praying for you to have a speedy recovery, Southern. So, God bless you, and just let us know what we can do.
I will. Thank y'all for all the love and support. I appreciate it.
God bless you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. That's our beautiful Southern Grammy. She's been a member of this channel for some time. And like I said, she had just gotten her shop, which we just learned had to go because she's been in the hospital for 7 weeks and there's no end in sight at this moment. She's got a lot of pins and needles all over her. Car wrecks are, we're thankful to have her, right? I'd much rather have Southern with a bunch of, to be a bionic woman, right? A bunch of metals, send off the metal detectors than the alternative. We just lost Connie Branch, so that was really hard on this channel. So we're really thankful for Southern. So God bless you, Southern. We hope you have a speedy recovery. I'm hearing that there's some, I saw somebody say that there's a new update in the Riley case, TD Dean. I'm looking, I don't know where it's at. If you can kind of direct me, because we've got the body cam footage. I did a release on the body cam footage as well as the text message. And I do know that I have been receiving some stuff in my email, especially people being roofied in these downtown. Oh, thank you. TD sent an email. Let me go to my email. These downtown bars, they've been getting, unknown drugging. So I don't know if that's. One second, sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. Let me just get over here and see what it is. There you are. Thank you. Okay, so news break. Let's see if this is news break's usually behind us just a little bit. Let me see what we got here. Yes, we have that footage with the police here. I'm going to go ahead for all those. We almost have 800 people across our multiple platforms here this morning. So let me go ahead and play that for you. I do have it queued up because I played it as part of my intro coming in. I think it's this one here.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you?
Comment off real quick so you guys can see the full. Let me take that off too. Hold on, just give me a second. Let me get it to where it'll play. Okay, let's play it.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
Hey guys, I have been covering the Riley Strain case all day today, trying to give you guys up-to-date information. Since it's taking a little time for my lives to download, I decided just to put together a video so you guys can get to see this. This is his path of travel, but right up in here is where we're learning that he had some contact with law enforcement officers, probably right around here.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
And that was at 9:50, and then we see him on the camera also around this area at 9:52, and that's the last time we saw him. And of course, as you see here, the last time his cell phone pinged right in the same area was even 6 minutes later. What happened to Riley Strain, we don't know, but something happened right in and around this area here. So it's very concerning that law enforcement still has not found him. Check out this latest clip from law enforcement. If you absolutely love the content you're getting here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Dun, 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 dun. That's it. Hold on. Oh, wrong answer. Oh, we forgot about this. Remember this one? So that was related to Riley Strain, rather, and here's his new path of travel. I do want you guys to see that. It has been, the path of travel hasn't changed at all, but we've added new little pins here. So it identifies where the credit card was found, as well as the law enforcement officer that had contact with him. What I would like to see on this map, because I'm not the one preparing it, there's no need to have 50 people preparing the same identical map. So I go and pull somebody else's map. Just like if I'm out on a trip and I catch a photo, they'll go snag that. So I got this off of Reddit and it pinpoints that. But what I would like to see is the pinpoint of the homeless man's observations when Riley was introduced to the bushes, and a general description of who talked to him. Because when we heard about this contact with law enforcement, I think we were all secretly hopeful that the person that the homeless guy saw him speaking to would have been that officer. Well, we're learning the officer only had a brief encounter, probably wasn't even looking at the guy, probably looked up for a second and put his head down as he's, searching for the burglar of these cars. So, what happened to Riley that night? What happened in that 6-minute window in that half block radius? Many are saying he went into the water. Okay. Well, if he went into the water, why aren't we finding him in the water? I think it's the most realistic question to ask. We have to acknowledge that boats have been all up and down that area. Hell, they pulled out somebody else that fell into the water. How long was that man gone before they found him? How long was he in the water before they found him? They didn't tell us any of that information. If somebody has it, please call and tell me, because I don't know. I don't know how long that man was in the water before they pulled it. But when we heard somebody was in the water and they were going to get him out, we all thought it was Riley. It wasn't. It wasn't Riley, guys. It was somebody else. So now we're finding other people, but not Riley. But, no foul play to see over here. It's kind of hard for us to say there's absolutely no foul play, even though we want to listen to law enforcement. It's like, why can't they just come out and explain why there's no foul play instead of just telling us, oh, hey, there's no foul play. Don't believe this. He has to be here. It has to be an accident. Okay, well, if your theory holds water, sir, where the hell's the kid? I mean, it's been a significant amount of days. This person we're assuming isn't moving. So how can we not find him? And yes, there's been a lot of people that have been at these bars and drugged. And somebody sent me literally a list of articles. There's no question in my mind that this is a significant problem for the bars downtown Nashville. It's, in my opinion, I don't really hear a common theme of men being, and most of the people that were here that had experienced this oofied feeling, right, were women. But it doesn't mean that he didn't accidentally grab the wrong drink. And it doesn't mean that somebody that was doing something like that wasn't intentionally doing something for somebody else. I just really think it's highly for him specifically. I think the reason why he was in the condition he was in was warranted all on his own doing. I feel like he was drinking with his frat brothers. The idea of them being so drunk they can't walk. In any other situation, would it really surprise us that a bunch of frat boys went out and got shit-faced drunk? Really? Had it been in any other scenario, nobody would be sitting here saying that he was, that he was oofied. And not only that, but if they were all in their right mind, do you think that they would have actually allowed their friend to leave and walk alone by himself if they were in their clear-headed mind? That tells me that every single one of them were pretty much shit-faced. Excuse my language for those that don't like that language, Miss Sonia. I need to turn that down. It's a little loud in my ears. So it just doesn't, to me, I mean, I'm not saying that it can't happen. Of course, anything's possible. You know my stance on that. Truth is stranger than fiction. So hearing strange stories as reality, to be honest with you, doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Hearing stories like this doesn't surprise me because I think we have a lot of closed-minded people, that are square. They don't know. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to fit. And sometimes I think when you're taught a certain way, you close your mind because you're so into the process that you lose track of sometimes thinking outside of the box. And I sometimes feel that human beings, normal human beings, have more of an ability to think outside of the box in some of these scenarios because law enforcement is so square. They're taught to live in these parameters. And because we're not trained that way, we're human beings. So what do we have? We see a problem. We find a way to either go around it, over it, or under it, right? So we think outside of the boxes because we're hindered. We don't have the access that law enforcement does. We don't have the information law enforcement does. And in order for us to get that information, we have to be very clever and creative to do so. Some homeless person rolled his pockets around. Hold on, Lulu. What is Lulu saying? Hold on a second. Some homeless person rolled his pockets and rolled his body into the water at the homeless camp that's on the embankment. He could be lodged between two boulders beneath the water next to the bank. It's possible. It's possible. And that's why I hope that sonar equipment works. But, I don't know much about the sonar equipment. I just know that without the proper training, you don't know what you're seeing. If that makes sense. It's not that you're not seeing the stuff. It's just you don't know what you're looking at, from my understanding. I could be wrong. But they've had sonar equipment out there. They've been riding along the banks. But if he is in the water, Lulu, I agree. I think he's hung up on something. Because biology, he'd be on top of that water at this point, in my opinion, unless the water is ultra, 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 super, super cold. And we learned this with Audrey Cunningham that, super cold water, which we knew before, but since that's the newest case and a lot of people don't know human biology and stuff like that, we like to educate people. We don't want anybody feeling like there's a stupid question. And, we learned in the Audrey Cunningham case just recently that the cold water preserves, the body and the trauma and a lot of stuff. So, I do hope if he's in the water, he's, any evidentiary value, because I'm still, even if he's in the water, just like you, Lulu, I'm still not convinced that it wasn't by nefarious means. Like, you're going to have to convince me at this point that this boy did this to himself, because there were so many. We saw him drunk. So if he did, I can accept it. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can accept that he did this to himself once people show me that he did this to himself. But I'm also thinking that this kid was 6'7". He was sticking out like a sore thumb around everybody. He's falling all over the place. Anybody with nefarious means or wants to pickpocket this boy or wants to do harm to this boy, he was a sitting target that looked like freaking Big Bird. Okay? You might as well have hung a neon sign around this man's neck and said, "I'm drunk, come rob me." So, I'm not saying he's not, I want him to have something wrong with him or some nefarious thing happening. I don't. At this point, I pray to God he went, if he's gone, he went quick. And he went without pain and he wasn't assaulted. That's what I truly hope, if that's the case. But I'm saying, hey, it's been 11 freaking days. We have no hide nor hair of this man. I think now is time to open up to maybe other possibilities. Do I want those other possibilities to bear fruit? Of course not. But the objective is finding him. And when people have their heads in the stand and won't look at a particular aspect of the case, it gets people a little concerned. Like, hey, if law enforcement truly believes that there is no possibility of this being nefarious or foul play, explain to us why you feel that way. Because I'm sorry, him walking along a bank near water drunk is not sufficient in the reality of people's lives to say, oh, he was drunk next to water. He has to be in the water. That's the only explanation. No, it's not. But I can tell you, his parents look pretty tired and exhausted. His parents look like they're ready for some stinking answers. And their parents actually look like they're prepared to start talking about foul play or produce their damn son. Sorry, I get a little passionate, but but quit telling the world there's no foul play in an area littered with criminal activity. All right, guys. Well, there's not a whole lot to go over on this particular case more than what we already know. We already know his path of travel. We already know and saw. And if you haven't, go back and check some of the videos out. Second thesis. It's nice to see you, Lori Lowe. It's nice to see you. Hi, you, babe. Good morning, loves. Good morning. So there's not a whole lot to really go over on this case, guys. I will be honest with you. If you guys would like to call in, now would be a great time to start having some conversations about this case, about Riley Strain and Sebastian Rogers. I'd like to hear from my audience, whether you believe Katie and Chris. I have to be honest with you, even though there were things that I'm saying that were added to the story, I'm wavering. Here's the reason why I haven't fully jumped over the fence and now friends and BFFs with the I'll get to that. Hold on. Don't say anything. Hold on. All right. I think you can talk now.
Okay. How you doing?
Sorry, I had it on something else. I had it, when I do this and the phones just ring, I got to take it off one screen and another, and I can make sure it's not on the main screen that everybody can see, so they don't have your phone number.
No, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, this case is baffling. I mean, it's baffling in some ways, and then not in other ways. I mean, it only seems like two scenarios could have happened here.
Right.
But I mean, I believe the homeless people have some knowledge of at least something.
I know, because we watched the first 48 hours. I remember there was this case there, and it was of these guys in homeless camps, and it was all over something stupid like a beer. Somebody wanted somebody else's beer, and they literally took a rock and killed this guy over a freaking beer.
Right. They seen him, that the way he was dressed too, and figured they would get some money out of him, and they took advantage of him being under the influence too. I think made a big difference.
Right.
I think that played a big role in it, where they knew that they could take advantage of him. But I don't know. Like I said, it could be 50-50. I'm going back and forth with it. I think he's in the water, then I think, he's in the water. Did they put him in the water, or, I think that's where the answers are.
Yeah, and
I don't know
how
if
did
they're
he
bringing
get in the water? I mean, when you look down there's not even if he fell off the embankment, it seems like, yeah, he might have slid, but just fallen in the water and drifting away.
Right. I was just wondering if he was like, under the water and something's got him tied down,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, and not even just tied down nefariously, like from somebody else, but like when he went to sink and the water's flowing, that him just getting caught up on some of that root system, or other debris that fell into the water, like logs and stuff that are down there a little bit. Could it have gotten a hold of his shirt? So I'm looking at that as well. And would that have been picked up on the sonar? Say if he's caught up on the shirt on a log, would they mistaken him as part of the log? I don't know.
Right. The only thing that's bothering me is, if that is, I think they agreed that it is was his card that they found, and that's the only thing that bothers me. Why is that there in his wallet, and they haven't found nothing? They didn't find his wallet, nothing else. Why, why that?
Yeah.
So I don't know if somebody made him give him his card, whether they were going to use it and just toss it, because homeless people, they're not the most careful about covering their tracks.
Right. But you know what? Not only the card, not only the wallet. Where's the phone?
Right. Yeah. Why didn't he call anybody? He could have. Why didn't he put his maps on his phone to get himself to the hotel? He's only walking distance away.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions. And you're right. Like, I mean, I religiously, whenever, and it's not that I just religiously always put the next thing on my phone. I don't know how to live without my. If I had to go back to reading maps, I think I'd get confused.
Yep.
But you're right.
Even
You know,
like
why
maps.
didn't he do that?
Yeah, I mean, he could have, if he didn't want to get in touch with any of his friends or, reach out to his family, he could have just very easily done that. I could see, the police officer, because maybe he thought he was in trouble, was afraid to ask for help, which, I mean, it's sad that happened, because he wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he was thinking, when it came to that situation. But it's just unfortunate, it's sad case. I mean, we haven't heard too much about his background. Have you?
About his background, no, but his age
No.
and everything. I mean, could he have gotten in a little bit of trouble, on campus or something? Yeah, maybe, but I don't think it's.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything neither.
Mm-mm.
I was just wondering, why he didn't reach out for help. If he was just in that situation, was going to look for something else. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
you
don't
saw.
know.
I don't think he didn't know where he was. He probably,
No.
when you're that far intoxicated, he might have been blacked out. I've been
Yeah.
blacked out and perfectly able to walk, communicate, talk. I'm sure I look like, like that, but I was
Right.
able to walk and talk. And you asked me the next day if I remembered anything. No.
Right. I know, it's very confusing. Like I said, what's bothering me is them finding his card. Because, why didn't they find anything else besides his card? It's almost like, why was it pulled out and why was it found there?
And where it was found, and the fact that
Right.
it was so near the homeless camp. It just I mean, I don't want to just say that law enforcement's lying to us. I don't think they're lying to us at all. I think that they're telling us their truth. I think they honestly believe that this man is in that water somewhere, and he very well may be. But at this point,
Right.
12 days in, it's time to start looking at some other options here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering how much that question, these homeless people.
It might be they are having a criminal investigation and keeping it under wraps so they can investigate. And this is a great
Right.
story that he's in the water, and people are hearing that he's in the water, and they're able to, when law enforcement's questioning them, they're thinking they're being questioned as a potential witness as opposed to a suspect. I mean, we don't know.
And we haven't heard anything from the friends, huh?
No, not, and I'm.
I find that odd.
In all fairness, I'm kind of glad. In all fairness, I really am. I'm kind of glad they're not speaking. Like, I feel the whole Idaho 4 just keeps coming back, and all those kids went through because people wouldn't leave them alone. And I don't want that. People are angry at the friends for, not being with him, and some of those emotions are coming out. And I'm glad they're not coming out. I really am.
Right. Yeah, that's true. They did say that, one of his friends did walk him down and walk him out, and I guess maybe they thinking he was just going to head to the hotel,
Yeah.
So they were probably not much, probably in the same situation as he was, not in their right frame of mind either. But I heard that they, I don't know where I heard it, but I don't know if it's 100% true, but I heard that they were doing Jello shots that they had made themselves before they even went to the bars.
I know that there's something. That kid was I just don't believe the one drink was drugged. I just don't.
No.
I'm sorry. It doesn't does it happen? Yes, it does happen. I'm just saying it doesn't bode with this particular story. They're frat boys. This idea that they even walked out of their hotel room without being intoxicated is nuts.
Right. I don't know. It's too bad that when kids get together, that they don't, stick together. Make some kind of pact where, hey, if this happens, we're gonna stick together. How many cases do we hear where, even like mostly just your girl when she wanders off? And there was a case a while back. I forget her name. I never heard something about the last scene going over a bridge. I don't know if I think they did find, and she had been.
There was a woman that disappeared, and she was fine. Law enforcement didn't say anything other. It sounded like she didn't want to be found because they didn't say anything other than She's safe and sound. Like that was
Yeah.
literally, they made contact with her. She's safe and sound. And that was it. So
I wish I remember this case. It was a very big case. It was very, very big. The family was all over it. And I want to say they did find her. It took a while.
it might have been the Sarah case here in Florida, and that was where this woman left her house. They thought she was, unstable, and they couldn't find her in the woods, and they did eventually find her, but she wasn't healthy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, this was a case where the friends were together. I'm gonna have to look it up. This is a while back. This is years back, and same situation. They separated, and she was off on her own. And it was about it wasn't actually that long ago. You might know. I remember it was about these three men, and they were seen walking her into the hotel. Remember that case?
The only one I know of is the Holloway case, similar, but she didn't go into the hotel.
I'll have to look
and
into it.
Look it up.
Yeah, it was a big case, and it was the same situation, and they ended up, unaliving her. So, but she got separated from her friends too. And if I can just touch on the Sebastian case, I know you and I like the behavioral aspects of the stuff, and I don't know. The mother's they're throwing me off. I'm not buying it. I know they keep coming out and talking, but
yeah. Well, it's the fact that in Olivia's interview, when you go watch it, you'll hear it right away. Her story literally changed from night and day, and I don't know how to handle that or analyze that, because I was just getting kind of on the fence that there's a possibility that these parents aren't involved. But here's the other kicker, and this is something else I'd like to know about when it comes to Chris Proudfoot, because everybody believes what he's saying. Okay, they like even the professionals, right? We saw the behavior panels. They think that they're being honest, truthful, and correct about everything that they're seeing and saying. But I also found out that Chris Proudfoot was in the Navy.
Right.
Okay, depending on his training, he could very well have been trained to beat a polygraph test and to be authentically truthful while lying and deceiving. We don't know what kind of training he had. And that's the only other tidbit of information that I want to put out there that could support or defend, which it kind of sucks, because we're trying to find out, are they involved or are they not? And all the information can go either or. And this is another one of those things that can go either or. He's a member of our military, thank you for your service, sir. From that to, could he have been trained to be honest and beat a polygraph?
Right. Has it been confirmed that they did take it and pass?
There's no way to confirm it. I can say that the family, because law enforcement's not going to tell us. If law enforcement was going to tell us anything, they would have came out and said that the parents are cleared and stand next to them during a press conference. They've done none of that.
Right.
And so that's always a concern for me as well.
Right. Well, if you look at them now, if you look at the Soto case with Jennifer and the boyfriend, now in that case, you have her who just looks kind of normal. Not, normal as could be, I would say, on the interviews. And you look at him, he's devastated.
Yeah.
Now you look at this case, and it's the opposite. The boyfriend looks very calm, and the mother looks devastated.
Yeah.
But what bothers me is the mother will not look at the husband. She will not. He's talking, he's facing her, and he's even, answering questions and directing it towards her. And she has not budged and made eye contact in any of the interviews. Mm-hmm. It's very strange. The rocking. I don't know what to believe. I'm back and forth with it. I'm just kind of iffy about it.
Right. And I gotta be honest with you. Like I said, the mom, after we heard all this stuff, at the end of the day, the mom was the last one to see her son alive, period.
Right.
She was the last one with her son. She was the last one that had interaction with her son before he went to bed. She even indicated in this interview that, he wouldn't settle down. She even said, turn off your light and go to bed, according to this new interview. And then she says that she gets up at 6:00. He's not there. She runs around and looks at all the places that he could have possibly been, gets in her car, drives around the community, goes to his school to make sure he's not at school. And on her way back, starts calling her husband on three-way where they call law enforcement. And I'm like, that's not what you said the first two. You said that you
Yep.
looked around the house. You immediately called Chris. Immediately.
Right. And she seemed like she was calling him out like, where the F are you? You know what I mean? And like he was playing games. So now, didn't he have a cell phone? This kid. I mean, you would think he would have took a cell phone.
I don't know. I don't know if he had a cell phone, and I don't know how he locked the front door on his way out either.
Yeah, that's odd. I mean, if he went out there because he heard some whatever, why would he lock the door?
Lock the door, not put on his shoes and socks. That's what he's religious about doing, is putting on his shoes and socks. So he totally doesn't put on his shoes and socks, but locks the door, which I doubt if he goes and comes with his mom, like if he leaves and comes back with his mom or his stepdad, they would probably be the ones unlocking that door versus him. So it's just really bizarre.
Yeah, there's a few words in there. I always watch the Chris on Sunday's interview. When he did a thing on it, he brought up some good points, like when the mother says, about proving, there's no proof, and a few words that she used, like wanting to prove that he's out there somewhere lost, and just I don't know. I just find the mother really. I mean, in ways, I look like she's devastated, but just like the other guy in the Soto case, he looked devastated too, but was because he knew what was coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's, and so I think it's more like that, going in that direction. She's worried about what's going to happen.
And isn't the mom like a stay-at-home mom, and the kid goes to school during the day? Are we sure the mom's not having an affair? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, not that but it sounds like the stepfather's on the road a lot, and doing work at other areas where he leaves his wife unattended for weeks at a time. I mean, because if the video is actually flashlights in the back of their yard, which, Chris is saying, wait a minute, I know where this was taken from. There's no flashlights. These are not what you think they are. If those were really legit flashlights, and Chris thinks that his wife had nothing to do with it, and her boyfriend concocted this stuff, and it was him in the backyard, not Chris. I'm just, it's getting down the rabbit hole. I get it. We're getting into the conspiracy theories now, but, in the same sense, what if?
Well, you got conspiracy hats you can always wear.
My Tenn hat.
But, on one of the interviews, it was weird because the mother, I think it was the mother, they brought up about a flashlight, and then all of a sudden this video comes out, and it's showing about flashlights, and then they're saying, the flashlight thing, don't believe. Now they're saying don't believe it. But they're the ones that brought out that he possibly could have had a flashlight. Now that it came out on camera, they're like, don't believe, what you're hearing about the flashlights. It's not true. It's like, well, not odd.
Well, what it is that the people are implying that those light sources are two flashlights. And in all fairness, we can't determine what they are. We have no idea if they're flashlights or they're just reflections. We don't know.
Yeah. Right. But it looks like people moving, don't you agree?
It does. It appears that it could be, but just think about it. Depending on the angle, let's say if there's a tree there with leaves, every time the wind blows, the leaves are moving and the light looks like it's moving. I've seen that before.
Right.
So again, it comes back to, how do we know it's just not a reflection off it? Maybe there's no trees back there at all. Maybe this is that theory holds absolutely no water, but people are asking, could it be something else? And because we can't determine what it is, and because somebody literally had to draw boxes around what we were looking at and had to acknowledge, though, this is subject 1 and this is subject 2, because they had to do that, it was something that we could come there and actually identify with our own eyes. And since we had to have somebody tell that information to us, it makes me wonder, what if that information isn't flashlights at all?
Right. But they seem to, almost know that, how do they know it's not flashlights? But they're putting up there that,
they don't. I don't think anybody knows that whether or not those are flashlights.
Right.
They're implying that they are without the necessary information to confirm that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just found it odd that she brought up about him possibly leaving with a flashlight, and then a couple of days later, the video came out with, with the light. So
yeah,
I found that kind of strange.
I agree.
It's like Soto saying that she fell asleep in the car. With the Madeline case. Because if he was seen in the car, she was sleeping.
Yeah.
But the odd part with that one, the Soto case is like, which I don't know if anybody, touched up on, is she was sleeping in the car, and why did she all of a sudden she wake up and want to walk to school? She was sleeping, she would have been tired,
She would have wanted to be dropped off at the front door.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like to watch the behavioral stuff,
Yeah.
Take you in the wrong direction sometime, but I always just go by what my gut tells me. And this, these two, this one's tricky with
I agree.
with Sebastian.
I agree, love.
And this, yeah, but I mean, I hope they get resolved soon. And I gotta get in touch with you. You mentioned about going to the Murdoch what do you call it, sentencing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. When is that?
It's on April 1st.
That's what you say. Are you going?
I'm looking at it. I'm eyeballing it. That's why I wanted to make sure that you and Paralegal Liz were on notice, because I haven't confirmed yet. Depends. It really does depend on budget, because I've got obviously the I've got I just talked to the mechanic yesterday, and the repairs on the car are like $1,700. And so, and I've already paid for my court hearing trip up to Illinois. So, I may have the budget for it. I may not. So I've got to wait until we get the car back. Once the car's back and I see what's left over for the month, then we'll make those determinations.
All right, let me know, because I'll be there. I'll help out.
Yeah. All right, love.
I'll help out. All right, I'll be in touch.
All right,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Okay, yeah, so Alec Murdaugh, I have literally no earthly idea whether I'm going to be there on the 1st or not. I'm going to try to shoot for it, but I may not stay the night. I just may go up there for the hearing, go up there and drive back, and just have to drive back, for budgetary issues. But we'll see how it all works out. I haven't decided what I'm going to do on April 1st yet, but I've covered the Alec Murdaugh case, and this sounds like his, at least for the criminal aspect of it, I think this resolves just about everything. Now, we're going to still have an appellate process in that case, I believe. I don't think they quite set it. I mean, they have it set up, but they haven't started executing those appeals yet. And I believe they're going to start executing some appeals here in the near future for Alec Murdaugh. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Hey.
This is Mama Llama.
Mama Llama, it's great to hear your voice, my love.
How are you doing today, beautiful?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Just a little, curious about this case, because it just makes no sense to me, as many of our cases don't.
Okay, with the Riley's case, I definitely think foul play was involved. And I think the homeless man knows more. And I think that his shirt and the card was left there purposely to make it look like that he was in the river.
Interesting.
And possibly he could be somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also saw where I think it was his uncle did an interview, or close friend of the family or somebody.
I know there's been you're talking about the man with like the gray hair, like the white hair. He's done several interviews. Yes. Yes.
Yes. I heard him mention something about he had a Michael's Kors wallet.
Yes.
So I was thinking maybe a homeless person asked him for some money possibly, and he pulled his wallet out and then they robbed him.
Yeah, something happened, but I still think that something happened when he fell into the bushes and there was somebody already next to him. And according to that, when I heard that it was just like my ears perked up. I'm like, this is the first time we heard of anybody actually speaking and talking to Riley on that walk.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Sebastian?
I think the mom and stepdad definitely is involved. And I think it had something to do with him going to live with his bio dad at the end of the school year. And I was also thinking, if those are flashlights on that camera, the mom said something about Sebastian liked to play with flashlights.
Yeah.
maybe they did that to make it look like he was out there with the flashlight.
It's possible. There's definitely something weird going on. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, I just don't see this kid waking up in the middle of the night and walking out the door.
Right? Yeah, that definitely don't make sense to me either. Didn't the dogs lose his scent at the construction site?
Yeah, it sounded like there was a scent that was picked up either from the house to the construction site, or somehow there was a construction bin or something that I heard. I didn't quite see if it was like an actual just a container, like you just toss something in, or if it's a big, dumpster. But they did
Wow.
say they had a hit on a construction site close to them. And I just thought that was odd because, Chris is in construction, and that would be a path of least resistance in my mind because he's comfortable on construction sites. He knows how they function. He knows when somebody's going to be there and when somebody isn't.
Exactly. Do you know if they searched that area?
Yeah, they searched everything multiple times in multiple different ways. So like they combed it by foot, and then they went in with dogs and stuff like that. So they did it in like from the way it was stated and the way my mind listened to it. It seems like it was done in phases.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, I just wanted to call and give my opinion.
Well, it's so great to hear from you, my beautiful. So you take care. God
Thanks.
bless and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Bye-bye. So a lot of interesting stuff. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on with both of these Tennessee cases. We've got a lot of Tennessee cases. So as soon as I get the car back, I told the people and this is one other reason why I might not be able to get Alec Murdaugh, is because I think I'm going to take a trip to Tennessee. We got Summer Wells, we've got Holland Snap, we've got Layla Santinello. Now we have Riley and Sebastian. It's like, Well, hello, my beautiful.
Hello, love bug. Let me pause you so I don't hear you in my other ear. Just going to be really quick because I had 2 bullet points that I was thinking about. I hope you're having a wonderful day, by the way.
That's a mouthful. You're just rolling with it.
I am on the go
day.
today. The life of being a mom of twins.
Yeah.
So I was just comparing it to our area. My buddy who is a busker is willing to interview and talk about the life and the culture down there because he was down there 10 to 15 years performing. It's right on the corners of, I want to say it was Luke Bryan or a big country star, that bar. Not too familiar which ones, but I've paneled up with him a couple times, and now he's there in St. Pete. So he would be the most, especially being busker on the street performing really good music, he would know.
Yeah.
But my first thought was the comparison to here. I've seen a lot of this happen even to an employee of mine in the past. And a lot of the times you will see LE, and this is only from experience, not saying this is the case, they will brush it off and put it under the rug as not as pushing it as criminal because it is a tourist spot. They've done that here multiple times where they have made it as an accident when it should have been criminal, and even had homeless testify it was criminal activity.
Yeah, and we've seen that some other place too. I was just thinking about it when you said that. Some other place popped to my head, and I can't remember what it was, but I'll have to think about it. But there was another place. Oh, Moab, Utah, when Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner, they literally were ripping things off the poles. They didn't want anybody knowing that they had 2 people gone in that community.
Exactly. And especially when it's a tourist area, they watch their P's and Q's because they rely on the spring breakers and all the visitors. And it's happened here. I've seen it firsthand. That's the only reason why I'm putting that thought into play. And then also with the construction, I don't know if you saw Chris's post about the construction site where the dogs hit.
I did remember reading something. I think I even clipped it. I got a picture of it, but just remind me because I forget. But I do remember him saying something publicly about it.
I put it in the mod chat. It was posted and shared, but he goes, yes, I am confirming the dog's had scent that had led to the construction site. No signs or evidence reveals Sebastian was there.
Yeah.
Please keep in mind that the dog tracking isn't as credible as you think.
Excuse me.
And then what got me was the idea that someone hurt Sebastian and threw him into a wet, fresh paved driveway is funny. It's funny. And to bury a body in concrete, it would need at least 12 inches thick. Secondly, you do have to smooth out the concrete and finish it before it's dried. All of that is done while the concrete is poured and being set. How would he know details like that?
Oh, that's common knowledge on construction. I know details like that.
But even still, for the way he said it, and it's very hard to tell tone and inflection and text.
Yeah.
But
it is kind of odd because I
like,
don't know 12 inches. You know, I look and say, you know, it's got to be at least, you know, your side body thick, like if you're on your back, right? Or you got to be dug into the ground. But, you know, you can dig into the ground and pour you over. I mean, it still doesn't make sense. I would take an
estimation, but he's kind of putting it as fact.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, interesting. But anyways, I hope you have a good day.
I hope you have a great day too, my love. You take care. And let me know about that interview. I'm interested.
Will do.
All right, hon. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
That was guidance, if you guys didn't know. All right, guys, so that's really all I have for this case today. Well, not today. I'm going to be doing some review, but I can't research what I'm doing live. So I'm going to rush you guys off so I can keep digging in. I want to tell Miss Robin, because I've been on the phone since I realized she gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. God bless you. Thank you so much for your love and support, your continued love and support, of course. You've always been amazing. Thank you. And that's to all of my beautiful mods and all of my beautiful members and subscribers. Thank you for making this channel on all my platforms successful. As we're building up X, I'm so thankful that we're finally being able to build up a good following on X. We have over 622 people watching us from X right now. That is amazing. We've been working really hard on trying to get viewership up on our X and also, get us to a monetization plateau, performance. So I just want to give a shout out to my X watchers. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I'm now including X on. So guys, I just want to say thank you. Was Riley recovered? I'm just coming in. I seen Dolly's live. I don't think he's been recovered unless it's just been breaking in just the last few minutes. No, not that I said, not I could see. So the only thing that we've got, Kelly, is that Riley Strain did a text message to his girlfriend, and they found his bank card, which I think you already knew about, and also the contact with law enforcement. Yeah, he's been trying to build up his channel. So I have a funny feeling it's just a clickbait title. But you know what? In all fairness, how are you going to get attention when we go to the movies? Do we go into the movies that have the boring titles, or do we go into the movies that have the grabbing titles? We go into the movies that have the grabbing titles. So don't ever criticize somebody for bringing attention to a case by being a little bit salacious in the titles. So no, it doesn't look like he has been found. They are still working on finding him. There's a lot of information that's coming out, but none of it's leading to his whereabouts. All right, guys, don't forget to rock it out with your coffee being out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another. We say no to online bullying and harassment and being a piece of shit in general. So if you're a piece of shit, please say a prayer and don't be a piece of shit anymore. God bless. Take care. And again, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't be a Richard.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.